Hi students, this is Dr. Mike with a few minutes of Linux for you. We're going to look at permissions and ownership real quick. So first off, understanding what we're looking at when we do an ls-l command, we get several columns of output. Now we've seen these already during the course, but I'll just do a real quick review here. And what we have is we have a first field which denotes it's a directory, a file, or a link. So we can see here, I created some extra files here for this demo. Here's a link with an L, a directory with a D, and a dash for a file. And you probably already noticed there what other types of indicators, like character devices and so on. But those are the three main ones we're going to run across during normal Linux command line use. So after that first field, we have a set of 10 permission flags. Later on, then we have a link count. And then we have the owner of the file and the group of the file, the group it belongs to. And we have the size, file size, and the date and time, and of course the name itself on the last here. So here we can see this is a directory. These are the permission flags afterwards. We're going to go into detail about those in a second. Link counts, the owner and the group, the size, and this can be changed, of course, with different outputs. So that's in bytes. And here we have, of course, the date, time, and the name. So let's focus in on the important part here, which is this permission strings here. So this is actually called the file mode. So file mode consists of these flags: read, write, execute. And it's broken into three groups. So the first one is for the user of the file, or the owner. The second three flags indicate the permissions for the group that file is indicated with. Again, in this case, let's look at it here. This is the owner would be Richard, and staff would be the group. And if you're not the user or the owner, or not the group, you belong to the others group then. So everyone else, in this case, what they can do with the file. So again, this is called the file mode. Now, in this lesson, you'll actually go through the lab and work the commands themselves, but there is the chmod command, change mode. And that's going to be the main command you're going to look at during the lab itself. Change mode has two ways to operate. It can be symbolic, or it can be with the octal numeric format. I'll leave the details for you to look at in the lab, but either one works fine. You can use symbolic methods where you indicate the user and what you want to add or minus or change, read or execute for, and we'll do a demo of that in a second. Or you can use the octal method. I sort of learned back on Unix the octal method, so it's what I use. But again, it doesn't really matter what you use as long as you get the job done, right? So chmod is going to help you get that job done. So let's look at here. We have red2.txt. So let me clear my screen off. So ls-l red2.txt. So this file, I just made a little copy of it. You can see this is opened up to the world. So the sysadmin can read, write, execute. Sysadmin group can read or execute, and everyone else can read, write, execute also. Now let's say, before we move on here, let's talk about the execute flag. The execute flag, even though this is a text file, with the execute flag on, it doesn't really mean anything. Execute flag is meant for scripts, executable scripts like bash shell scripts. Sometimes some Python scripts might need it. Like it depends on the Python environment. But of course, then compile bytecode, actual binaries. So with this set on, it does give a green bold text on a red2.txt, but I can't actually run red2.txt. There's nothing to execute inside here. So So it can be on. It does not hurt to have it on if you want to have it on. But in this case, it won't do anything. I believe we have another file. This was locked down, and then ls-l-os. We can see probably more common read-write. This is a CSV file. Again, it's a text file. There's no execute flag. But again, this really doesn't make a difference here. And we can see here this people2 is locked down, right? So we can see no one in the outside of our sysadmin group can do anything with this people2.csv. So let's go ahead and change this. Let's change people2.csv. We want to allow everyone who's not in sysadmin group or sysadmin be able to read this file. So chmod. So if I want to allow reading, and I want to use the octal method, I got to put all 4 numbers in place. Now, I don't want to get into the details of how these numbers are computed. You can probably look it up. It has to deal with, if you look at the 3 flags in binary, they convert to an octal number. And again, so again, 111 is equal to a 7, 110 is equal to a 6, and so on. So that's how the link between these 3 flags being on or off and the number itself gets established. So we want to use a 4. We want to use a read-only. The important thing to note here is if you use the octal method, you have to indicate all 3 flag positions. You can't just say change just the others. So right now it's currently 640. It's read-write for the owner, read-only for the group, and 0, which is none, for everyone else. So chmod is pretty easy. I just go and do this. I add a 4 to it, so I want to change this last one to read-only. So I'm going to make that last position a 4. Again, a 4 is read-only. And you put the file name, people2.csv. You can see we've changed it. So another method is, you can still use chmod. We can actually change different parts of this flag with the symbolic method. So in our case, we want to use the reference and the operator here. So let's say, and our mode. So we're going to do others, O. We're going to minus read. So ch others minus read on people2.csv. Okay, got it right. You can see just remove the read for all others, which we just put back in place. Again, either one works. You'll find one that works better for you. chmod. So chmod, change mode. Last part is, of course, the ownership itself, the ownership and group of the file. For this next demo here, I'm actually going to su to root. It's netlab123. I'm still in. Let's go to home, sysadmin, test. Okay. All right, so I'm going to take over this people2.csv file. So change owner is pretty straightforward. It's the change owner is pretty easy. The name of the new owner and the file or directory you want to change. It's very simple syntax. Let's do root on people.csv. There you can see I own it. Now you can also do change group. I can do the same thing. I can put root for people.csv, and we can see I now changed the group. Now, the good thing about chown or change owner is you can actually do both at the same time. So let's change it back. So chown, chown. We want sysadmin and then a colon. So again, I can actually denote the owner and group on one command with chown. So sysadmin, people2.csv. I changed them back. So change ownership and change permissions. And one note to leave you with, again, it's very important to understand these permissions and ownerships. I definitely wouldn't have done this before you go in and start editing files, maybe on a system you're not used to, or even when you are. It's a good idea just to check a few key things. One, see who you are, right? Like, who am I? Exit from there now. See who you are. And before you edit a file, understand the permissions of it. Nothing worse than opening a file and starting a bunch of edits, and then you go to save it, and it says it's read-only file. So you have to do, of course, a save as, a different name, exit, become the other user, change it back. It avoids a lot of frustrations, and even more important, the permissions. I've actually run into problems before. One of my first jobs in Sun Solaris, working on Sun Solaris, installing Oracle database apps on servers for microprocessing companies, and the install program had some really fine details. You had to make sure execute was on for a certain user group, and skipping that or missing that step, it would go into some crazy error loop, and you get the error log, and you think something's wrong with the binary, or you check configurations, and it ends up being a simple thing as just a permission flag. So it's always good to check those things before you set off onto some major system work. That's going to help you avoid any issues later. So again, that's permissions ownership. Again, the very, very critical skill set to know for Linux. So hope that was helpful. Thank you.